That is showing respect to our national flag, but also to pay respect for all those soldiers that gave of themselves and died for our country, protecting not only our country, but each and every one of us that are here today. So we appreciate it with flag. Some of the others, if you have a hard time standing, you don't need to rise. Thank you. Flag detail. Forward. Forward. Well, right. Forward. Flag detail. Up. Left. Face. Flag bearers. Prepare to post colors. Post colors. Flag bearers. Rejoin formation. Flag detail. Present arms. Order arms. Flag detail. About face. We're going to do something tonight. They told me they didn't want to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, these are the veterans. These are the guys and ladies that joined the military and gave a sacrificed part of their life for each and every one of you and for this country. So at this time, I'd like to start off. I want you to sound off who you are, which branch you served, and when.
Al Vernon, United States Air Force, 1984 to 2000. Vietnam.
Flag, white, face, flag barrier, forward, arch, flag barrier. Mark on, forward. Flag down, up, left, face. Those wings. We're all good to get through the line.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Benno. Richard is so proud of this organization. When you walked in the door, I hope you got a red ticket. Throughout the evening, we're going to have door prizes. So keep those tickets all night. And leave your red tickets when you go. You know, the really true elders, there they say, I'm supposed to say, yuck and A. Yuck and A. I think they're from Arizona. Stand up. Yay! Our relatives from Arizona. They couldn't stand the cold, so they went further south. Okay, our first speaker tonight, our president, Jerry Isaac, are you here? Are you here, Jerry? Oh, I was just going to say, I told him not to go to the bathroom.
time, eh? I'd like to say, in behalf of the 42 tribes in the interior and the executive board of directors and the staff of TCC, welcome to Fairbanks. And I'm quite pleased that the Rural Providers Conference is being held in Fairbanks because TCC relaunched and redeclared its war on alcohol and drugs by resolution submitted by our second chief, Trimble Gilbert. So give a hand to our chief, Trimble Gilbert. I know you have much to achieve this whole week. I'd like to thank the many agencies and volunteers who made this event for this week possible. A lot of people don't know that, but myself, I have been a recovering alcoholic going, this is my 9th year of sobriety. A lot of times thank you. A lot of times we, in our efforts to live a good life, we also try to, if we don't know each other, we don't know about each other's history. Today, June 10th, and I mentioned in the wrong way, in Mentasta that it was the 9th year, but some of the hardships that I had to live through along with my family was the sudden and tragic self-inflicted death of my son 10 years ago today. He was a specialist 4th class, served in the U.S. Army for 4 years, went into the U.S. Army in 1999 and came out in 2003. And 2 months after that, he did that. So, that got addicted to drinking and this stuff while in the military and this stuff, and you can't blame anybody for it. It's just those things that do happen. So we have a very serious case on our hands to help our people to beat the addictions that they face. There's so many tragedies out there that I cannot even recount them. I've been here for I will be turning out this year. March 2014 will be the final month of my presidency with TCC. The only thing that I will regret is that I have not done enough. A lot of times people take our titles a little too serious. We're people too. And we have hardships. We have hardships like seeing our people having a struggle. One of the real struggles today is with the flood along the Yukon River. Many families and many homes have been destroyed, and they're following feelings of loss and displacements. It's not a happy time. I've flown to all the villages this last week, and I've seen a lot of hardships out there, but also the strong spirit of survival. And I forgot to mention, I forgot her name in Galena, but she's just a spry young lady, that spirit. I meant to tell her before I left that she gives me a great bundle of hope, just the way she was, seeing her house destroyed, and yet she had the sense of humor and the will to live. So with that, I didn't mean to go on and on, but I just wanted to really emphasize that not as you discuss the problems and issues as it relates to addiction and stuff, also look out there and help our people, not only here in Fairbanks, but every major city in Alaska and the lower U 48. God bless you. Thank you for having the heart to be compassionate enough to be moved forward, to try to step forward and help your people. Thank you, and thank you.
I have my finger food, it's loaded down. Thank you, Jerry. Our next speaker, Jerry Simon from Doyon. Is Jerry here? Oh yeah, okay. It says Aaron Shutt, but we wanted a pretty lady, so we... Aaron is out traveling, I do believe. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you. I actually had a speech prepared for Aaron, but left it in the office. Aaron does send his regards. He's down traveling out in, actually down their way, down in lower southwest somewhere. But we did want to welcome folks here to Fairbanks. We're really pleased to see that Rural Providers Conference come back here, and we hear you're going to be here next year too, so we're really trying to lay out the stage so you guys definitely come back next year. But we look forward to a good conference. I saw your agenda, and there's lots of great sessions going on. So with that, appreciate you guys coming here. You have a safe week, and welcome. Anna must be busy with her finger food, so I will bring up the next guest speaker, which is Steve Guinness with Fairbanks Native Association.
I like that, Jerry. You took over her job. Almasy Charles Alakay. Attack na napagyan session sa Quincy. What I say is thank you very much, my relatives. It's good to see all of you here. On behalf of the board of the Fairbanks Native Association and our employees, we welcome you to Fairbanks. And I'd like to introduce some of my board members that are present here. First of all, I'd like to introduce Pauline Carlo. Pauline, could you stand, please? Pauline is one of the founding members of the Fairbanks Native Association, and she's been on the FNA board since it was incorporated in 1967. And she's really been an inspiration to many of us, not only the employees, but the board itself, by guiding us culturally. And I just want to acknowledge her, and I want to thank her for that. The other is Roxanne Frank. Where are you, Roxanne? There she is. She's also one of the planners of this conference. And thank you, Roxanne. I don't know how many years ago it was that I went to a rural providers conference. And I was invited by Jonathan Sullivan. Many of you probably know Jonathan Sullivan. He was a real supporter of this conference. And that was 13 years ago. And today I'm really proud to say I've been clean and sober for 13 years. And at that conference, there was a lady from Southeast that was speaking. And she was talking about how we do crazy things when we drink. And they had a kitchen farm, or chicken farm. And she was talking about how her and her husband made Raisin Jack, home brew. And she said that they, when the home brew was done, they took the raisins and threw it out in the coop. And went back inside and, we're drinking some of that home brew. And when they came back out, they said all those chickens were laid out. So they thought they were dead, so they plucked them. They plucked them and they put them in a row like that. And went back inside to get a knife or something to cut off the head. So when they went back outside, she said they were all running around. So, I thought that was a pretty funny story she was talking about. But anyway, on a more serious note, I want to thank all of you for what you're doing. We all know that our villages are being seriously impacted by alcohol and drugs. And personally, I think that we need to get out of that denial. We need to really address that issue for our future generations of leaders. In 10 Chiefs Conference, I forgot what year it was, the leadership declared war on alcohol and drugs. And I've really seen a change over that time period where our leaders became sober and conducted business in a sober way. Prior to that, we took care of business down there in the bars. That's just the way it was. But today, when we have our 10 Chiefs Conference, sober people, sober leaders, and that's a real improvement. And so what you're doing, don't think it's not making a difference, because it is. And I do know, just from my own personal experience, that there is hope for people. And we got to give them that opportunity. We've got to give our people that opportunity. Not look down on them because they have a problem, but lift them up, give them strength, and kind of direct them in the right direction. And the more they hear from positive things from people, they'll get stronger. They'll get stronger, and they'll be leaders, and they can do some amazing things. So I just want to thank you all and encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. And once again, welcome to Fairbanks. and Masik Chol Shalaknai. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Our next speaker is supposed to be Don Honey, but someone said Don Rocus Lake or something, so we'll have Reverend Trimble Gilbert from the Dinakanaga Board. Trimble? Hurry up, Trimble, don't hug girls.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We need to make an appointment next time to go bathroom. I know you were so busy. Well, welcome to Fairbanks again. So we all know that we got a lot of people from all over bring together as a one unity people every year. So, you know, we have a lot of problems everywhere in this world today. So, other day, before I was taking off to Fairbanks, and I know that one family was working on his family, teaching, like caribou skin, how to clean caribou skin and all that. That was really, those kind of things we all need to watch in teaching our young people at home. You know, when I grew up with the elders, every other day they come around and teach us and talk to us about what to do, how to make livings, how to be a man. So nothing about work. We put in a lot of work every day. We never sit around doing nothing. So now we take too much time off, and we don't have time to teach our young people. So I get up around 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I sit down facing the north, my window, and there's all kinds of books. And while my wife is sleeping, I'm reading, learn something every morning. So this is the way my mom and dad told me to do. So I still carry on teaching, working with the young people. So I seen the young people walking around a little while ago and say, hi. I know, I met him downtown and I was working with him. Many more. Some of them work in the big hotel somewhere else. They're all working. Good to see that. To see them doing something when you work with them and see them try to do something for themselves. So we all know that now as the times is changing, the world is changing. There's a lot of tragedy things going on all over the world. What are we going to do? Even in Alaska, there's a lot of things that change. We have floods and more ice cover more area at home. I never seen it happen before. More water. So you could see that at Lake Cross, you could slowly come into our country. So now it's time for us. Remember, 20 years ago, there's elders standing here talking to us about the future, being ready for next year. We don't know what kind of weather we're going to have next year. So even now, energy is a problem all over. So there's a lot of driftwood floating on the Yukon River. now is the time to get maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 6 logs and cut it up and just ready for another year. This is the way the old people used to do that. Food, enough food for the winter. So, alcohol is really killing all our people. We all know that. I've been fighting against alcohol all my life. That doesn't mean I'm the perfect, but I'm fighting against it. See, not much different with drugs too. So I want to see all the young people to be sober. Within 1 day, 2 days, go ahead and try it. Just leave the bottle alone. And then you will be strong Athabascan Indian. So that's what we need. We need you to lead. We need a strong leader. So every time I heard about that, something happened like Galena, many other places, sometimes I just take off to the church and kneel down and pray. Maybe 5, 10 minutes, sit there and pray for our people. That's the strongest thing we have to believe. And don't lose your faith and take your children to the church. So the Lord will bless each one of you and be strong community, and we will stand together with one heart for the future, and then we don't have to worry about the future. So be together as a family. Thank you very much. So good to be here with you.
Thank you, Colonel. You see those 2 ladies back there by the bathroom? All I have to do is wink and they let you in. Thank you, ladies. Our next speaker, we all love, Bernice Joseph. When you talk about Bernice Joseph, I heard people say, "Oh, you mean that lady that's the president of U of A?" Come on up, Bernice.
Good evening. I want to recognize our elders in the audience, all of our visitors from across the state and stateside. On behalf of the Rural Cap Board, where I sit on the executive board, I want to welcome you all here. I see we have another board member here, Nancy James, so thank you for being here. If I missed anyone else. Okay, there's my friend John Moeller from the state. But along with Rural Cap, the Tanana Chiefs, and the many 2013 Rural Providers Conference sponsors and organizers, we're thankful that you've joined us here in Fairbanks for the 30th Annual Rural Providers Conference. Thank you. Because this is the 30th year, I'm particularly honored that it is in this region, my home region, the region of Tanana Chiefs, Doyon, Denakanaga, UAF, and FNA. We are privileged to host the RPC for the second time here in Fairbanks. In the early 1980s, people began to recognize the need for those involved with the sobriety movement, and we've heard from Steve and our other leaders in the Native communities to come together and to begin sharing resources. And with the help of Rural Cap, RPC was created as an annual gathering of substance abuse prevention and intervention services, attended also by those who were in recovery, family members affected by the substance abuse, and people of all ages wanting to participate in community wellness. From its beginning in 1984, RPC, also known as The Gathering, has brought people together from across the state to learn new skills, share experiences, and gain strength, really gain that inner strength from each other in regard to sobriety and wellness. Following the lead of that conference back then, the Rural CAP board voted to have no alcohol at any of its functions in December 1985. Thanks. Since then, Rural CAP has provided yearly sponsorship and logistical support for the conference along with co-hosting regional organizations. However, as tomorrow's keynote speaker and my good friend Anna Frank suggested back in 1983, the design of each conference is created by the conference participants themselves, local community members, service providers, those in recovery, and all of you are stakeholders. What makes RPC unique, that it embraces and unites traditional Alaska Native knowledge and modern methods in battling substance abuse while promoting healthy and wellness. And over the years, RPC has traveled to 13 communities across the state. And this year is the first of 2 years, and we heard from Jerry that it will be hosted by TCC here in Fairbanks. This year's conference will feature talking circles, special ceremonies, storytelling, cultural events that honor those traditional ways of healing and strengthening our communities. Thursday's keynote speaker is one of our very early supporters, Phil Lane Jr. of the Four Worlds, who with Phyllis, thank you. So he, along with Phyllis and Andy Chelsea, brought us the staking ceremony. A special part of this year's conference is the youth track, and we're happy to have our visitors from down south. It will be attended from youth from across the state and across the country with participation and support of the National Congress of American Indians and tribal youth from outside of Alaska. Also this year's features the participation of almost all of our RPC stakeholders. These stakeholders are the traditional cultural bearers and historians of this conference who carry with them the spirit of the sobriety movement and staking ceremony traditions. Nearly 30 workshop discussions will be facilitated by a wide variety of local and statewide presenters. Rural CAP is extremely grateful for the strong collaboration and the many hours of hard work put in by our partners, Tanana Chiefs, the local planning committee, the statewide planning committee, the stakeholders, and many organizations and leaders. You can see those all listed in your program, so let's give them a big round of applause. And also a special thanks to our major donors, the State of Alaska Division of Behavioral Health, State of Alaska Department of Community and Economic Development, Doyon Limited, Doyon Utilities, LLC, Captain Coordination Services, the Fairbanks Native Association, and Wells Fargo. Thank you to our many additional conference sponsors and supporters in the Tanana Chiefs region who have provided resources to make this gathering possible. Every contribution counts. Again, a big round of applause for our contributors. The conference theme this year is Our Hearts Together. And throughout this week, participants will join hearts together to heal ourselves and each other, and then continue that healing across the state in the coming year. Thank you. Anamase.
Thank you, Bernice. And they forgot to put my hairdresser on the donation part, so there was a joke. That's why I look so good tonight. there was a joke between Richard and I. One time I took Richard to the hospital, and there was a young male nurse there, and I just came from the hairdresser, and so he was talking to Richard, and he said, "Is this your daughter?" So every time I went to the hairdresser, Richard would say, "You're looking like my daughter again?" And she's a good hairdresser. Her name is Hair by Gloria, and she'll serve you tacos. Our next speaker is Billy Sundgren. Billy, are you here? All right. Native people always stand by the door, or they're in the back seat at the church.
I'm supposed to give this to you. There's my ticket right there, just in case.
Don't go to the bathroom, remember.
I'll go to the bathroom. On behalf of the Fairbanks North Star Borough, Kuyana, for asking us to welcome you here to your conference this week. Mayor Luke Hopkins would be with us tonight, but he is in Washington, D.C. this week, and so he did ask if I would stand up here on his behalf, and I'm very honored to do that. Part of the message I would like to share is that I see so many wonderful minds here tonight. I see the minds of elders, I see the minds of young people, I see the minds of children. With all of those great minds come great solutions. When you as a Native group and we as a Native group can set our sights on a common goal. It is our hope as a borough that you all find strength, friendship, and laughter over the next few days. It is our hope that we find direction to combat the issues that are facing our Native people. You will learn much from your guests, from your facilitators, and from your presenters, and I'm sure you will learn from each other. Once again, we wish you peace and strength as you talk about the sobering issues that are all too common. At the same time, we wish you joy and respect as you celebrate the strong bond you have as a Native people, the strong bond we have as Alaska Natives. On behalf of Luke Hopkins and the Fairbanks North Star Borough, we welcome you to the 2013 Rural Providers Conference. Thank you.